So just a reminder of our norms, as much as possible we start on time. Our big goal is to know our plan. So we're making groups today, so that's going to be our big focus, is to make sure we all know what we're doing, and that it's clear for everyone, and that we know where our next step is. And then the questions we're looking for, what are we going to do? What's cool today is we're looking at big growth data, so we get to see more what they do know, and how we get to continue to extend for that. And then I think we kind of have a plan for the ones that are struggling at this point. Based on beginning of the year expectations. So if our expectations didn't change, only 3 kids remain high risk. All of these kids that were here moved somewhere. All of these kids that were here moved. All of these kids that moved. And none of our kids that were above dropped back. So that is exciting. If we have to pick. So,
but we were talking also with like the high risk ones that we're seeing those gains.
Oh,
you know,
so
they're baby steps, but we're
next
seeing
exciting
those.
thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
awesome.
Yep. And it was just really cool to see, based on I know how much that was hard for him last year to do these things. So think about all the cool things that are happening for him. I know it's team-wise and you know his work with specialists, but there's a big difference happening for that kid.
There is,
really.
That's amazing.
So I think I
Were
talked
those
to you,
kids
that
with
was our
you?
biggest problem.
Right, Ellie?
No, they were. It was
Shelley's.
So the kids I read with yesterday were Shelley's group, and I did not read one story with one kid. I didn't read less than 5 stories with any of the kids. So if you would like to know all the stories from H through L, I would be happy to talk to you about them. H through K, I did stop at K because that's our expectation right now, and I figured we could move forward from there. But I know he's a higher reader than that. So yesterday I pulled a K for him because I'm like, that's at least, Karen and I talked about at least seeing what he can do at a benchmark book for this point. He read it 100%. I did something a little different. I had him read the book a second time before I asked him comprehension questions. He could retell it perfectly and answer all the questions. So I think he just rush reads. So that's something we need to work on for him. Yeah. But what we're working on, I think, would really benefit these few for sure.
I think if we do shuffle though, we might want to continue what you were doing and just have one of us do it.
Yeah. When you pull your small groups, make sure that
They're all
that focus is comprehension for them, whereas other kids might need a different focus in your group.
Say that maybe within our own classrooms we can assess for comprehension. That way we have a clear picture of which of our higher kids need that component, and then group based like that.
I wonder if we can come up with something that we can all 4 do.
Yeah.
They didn't really need much help from me. I would go around and listen to them read, and most of them were pretty fluent, but they seemed to understand what was going on. So.
And did you have him do any tasks with the book?
I was going to, but it took longer to read the book than I thought. So not really. I was planning to do that if we met this week. So if we meet next week, we'll be wrapping it up, doing comprehension questions after we review what the chapters were about.
Okay. Because we definitely have plenty.
Yeah, and just having those classroom discussions, I think that would be really good for this group. To have those classroom discussions where you talk about the novel and you talk about what the author is saying and then all the different parts.
He was independent at a J, frustration at a K. So I didn't know. Karen marked him as instructional at a K. Like I was frustrational for him. So I feel like I just didn't. You know him better. What is he going to benefit from being pushed, or is he going to benefit from gaining a little confidence?
He needs to gain a little confidence.
Yeah.
Moving up.
I've really been working hard on that.
So and this was a big jump for him from where he was before. So
definitely.
because he was a G. Yep. So J is still a big jump. So I think giving him J, really working on that, and then as soon as he's ready, we can assess it again and move him to K.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that. So, you guys can tell me your thoughts when I was counting numbers last night. If Karen and I kind of have a system, and I would love to keep that group at least till winter break, and then regroup and maybe switch it up and give them a new opportunity in January. But getting them through.
So then the next thing is we're going to have to regroup these kids and reshuffle. And then
Regroup, reshuffle and decide who's gonna teach what. For next Tuesday, we're gonna switch back to that math. We took the 2 different signs was super hard.
I agree.
And I think that's a really good place for us to pick up.
I was thinking about like running another set of colored paper,
On
just so
one
I know.
side, yeah.
Yeah, one side
One
addition,
side
one
addition,
side
one side
subtraction.
subtraction. That's a great
And
idea.
then, the yellow paper will indicate that this is round 2.
Mhm.
But
And
I
we
had like
can
4
compare
that
yeah.
either did really well, like 7 or 8, or they did not do well.
Line of kids, I've had other kids who are really strong at it,
Mhm.
just calling up other kids and going reviewing those subtraction and addition, so.
Perfect. I think the biggest struggle for them on that one was the back and forth. But
Yeah, I agree.
But
It's
I
hard.
think that's something they have to have.
They
So
have to
we-
learn
eventually.
We have
Baby
to
steps.
Yeah,
keep working
and
towards that.
and I think you guys did too, and highlighted just the
Mm-hmm.
addition, so I said do addition first or second, but
Oh, no, I didn't.
work
I
on
just-
all addition. and
I
then
had
all subtraction.
miscounting. I had a lot of miscounting, like off by 1, off by 2, and so it was like, you guys know what you're doing. It's just,
We're just
yeah.